Second countdown or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go, guys. Here's this countdown.
To 0 7 4 1 8. These are numbers we can't debate, 'cause God wants all of us to have abundance. Anything less would be redundant. 5 to 0 7 4 1 8. Okay, guys, that's the 520 741 8 song. Here's Doc G.
Hey, everybody. Welcome. Tonight's show, of course, I'm Doc G, and this is Chances Chat and Friends. I hope everybody's had a great weekend, and we're welcoming what we believe to be Chances Chat and Live Friends to be entertainment for people, but maybe not. Welcome, Chances Chat and Chance McFadden, and our friend Brian is here tonight. Fascinating Brian. So welcome, everybody. This is Chances Chat.
We got more guests coming in tonight, guys, but let's get excited. There's a lot of good news at the end of the show, and I'm not kidding. This is the guitar we're raffling off. Okay, as you heard, I just played it on the air. It's a brand new, the name brand is Resin Art. Resin Art guitar. It's a Dreadnought Cutaway. $400 value with everything and shipping. You can get it. Maybe if you buy a $5 ticket. You can buy as many $5 tickets as you want. Your name will go in that many times. We gave away last time, we gave away 2 electric guitars. This time we're giving away 1 acoustic guitar because the people asked for an acoustic guitar. So there we go. So what you do is you send $5 to $sign McFadden Chance on Cash App. Okay? Or you can do my email, chancemusic@yahoo.com on wise.com. Now, if you're overseas, I'm sorry. Please don't buy any tickets because we're not going to ship the guitar overseas. It costs way too much money, and it's too big of a risk for it to be destroyed. This is a really nice guitar. I sell these in the shop, okay? And I set them all up. They play wonderfully. This one needs a little tweaking that I will do before it goes out the door. I'm very, very picky. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, I want to announce a very special day today. Happy birthday to fascinating Brian Blackmore today.
Thank you. Birthday. I didn't know that.
Thank you. Yeah, see, I pay attention to Facebook too.
Thanks.
And he's a whopping 26 years old today, and you wish you were. How many times you been 26, Brian? How many times?
Oh gosh, are you kidding? I shoot for 17 each time. Even though I'm 47, so I'll just knock off 20 years. Yes.
It's very windy and cold today too in Iowa. We had snow on the height. Deborah, Ladybug. Oh man, they're coming in. They're coming in like crazy tonight. This is great. This is a very momentous show. Okay? Because of the information that I have at the end of the show. And I'm going to tell you the stories about the information at the end of the show. Because I have right now 3 confirmed people in 3 different groups that have gotten the phone call. that have been contacted either by email or by phone, and they had their appointments today. This thing is unrolling. It's rolling out. It's rolling out. Everything we've been working for, everything we've been fighting for is starting to happen. Now, we know that this is part of NESARA, okay? And but NESARA itself cannot be rolled out as long as there's these supposed conflicts, wars, Israel, Ukraine, Gaza Strip, all this crap, okay? I'm going to tell you the same thing I told everybody on Tuesday on the private Telegram chat, okay? Wrap this through your head, because this is straight from 3 guys that work right over here at the car lot. That's 3 blocks from my house. The guy brought in 3 Ukrainian families. These 3 guys are very, very good mechanics, and they do everything to do with cars and everything. So he sponsored them to come in and work at this garage. And they came in from Ukraine. And so the reason I met him is my car died and I had to have it towed. This is about 2 months ago. So no Wyatt again. Did he get paid? I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Wyatt. I think he's just tired of it. If you really want to know the truth, I think he's just tired of it. I think he's suffering from burnout. We love Wyatt. Everybody loves Wyatt. He's welcome back here anytime, just like everybody else that's ever been on the show. You're welcome back anytime. But the guys from Ukraine, I went over and they eat their lunch. They take sack lunch. They don't eat at Hardee's or anything like that. And I went over and talked to them on their lunch hour. And listen to this. I said, did you guys move here from Ukraine because of the war? Well, what war is that? Well, the war between the Ukraine and Russia. Says, well, we only hear about this war in the United States. There's nothing going on over there. And what's funny is now I have something from an actual person that came from there, okay? But there was YouTube videos that were taken down from people in Ukraine saying, there's no war, there's nothing going on here. It's all optics, folks. It's all bullshit. It's all optics. There is no wars, there is no bombing, there is no nothing. It's all crap. It's going to unfold as it unfolds, but finally, now we have the people who have been getting paid for the last 4.5 months. The people who have been getting paid are the test redemptions, okay? They're testing different places, different locations to make sure that the quantum financial system is syncing up with everybody's computers, okay? So that's the few people that have gone in. Now, I did hear 2.5 months ago. Hi, Maureen. I did hear that the Admirals Group went in. And then I heard they didn't. And then I heard now the core group went in. The core group, the original group of members before they opened it up to everybody else. And I'm actually part of the Admirals Group, and I haven't been called by that group. So I haven't gotten any notifications. So it's these subgroups that are starting to get called now. According to different sources, you're gonna hear it firsthand right at the end of the show. We're gonna have Dr. Weedman on at 8:45. He's going to be talking about his new show. What is his new show called, Doc G?
The Wellness Revolution.
The Wellness Revolution. We've got a logo for it and a new email and a new contact information. Can you put that up on the?
I am going to put his thing up in a second. Hold on, let me find it. I think this is
because his old website address wasn't working. So I think he went and got a new website address.
There you go. That's what it looks like. His new Facebook page is going to be right there, as you see.
Yeah, his doc for Docs Minerals, you go to getdocsmessage.com. That's GETDOCSMESSAGE.com. That's to get to his website.
See if that's better. You see that
Yeah.
better? Yeah.
And then the phone number is 406-270-3754. His show, Wellness Revolution. I was a guest on there Tuesday night. His first show was Tuesday night. I will be on there again this coming Tuesday. I won't be on there very long, and I won't be talking about any intel or anything to do anything except for what's going on, testimonials, and so it'll all be health. It'll be all health concerns. Hi, Sharon. How are you?
They're saying hi back to each other. They're sisters. I love it.
That's what they're doing. Okay.
I love them both. They're both wonderful people.
That's great. Yeah, we don't mind being a platform for you. You guys go ahead and, share recipes or whatever you're going to do. Kids' pictures. I don't know. Okay. I am so excited to tell you these stories, but we're going to wait till the end of the show because we got a lot of things to talk about tonight. I want you to pay very, very close attention. Okay, because listen, Curtis, people have been going in for the last 4.5 months. It's test redemptions. Okay? They want to test the quantum financial system. Now the rates, they put a supposed rate up and it will be adjusted later on, but it makes sense that the Admirals group, the core group, went in early because they got to make sure that the quantum system and everything's lined up for a big bunch of people. For 200 or 300 people, they got to make sure that they can handle it. It's all a test redemption. Okay, sure, they're still getting money. Thank you. Oh, she loves me? Oh, isn't that nice? Thank you. Oh, wait a minute. You're talking back and forth to your sister. Oh, man, I thought I had something going there. Okay. Anyway. I still got a little bit of my cough.
Yeah, I hear it.
But the coffee adds to the cough. I just want you to know that. The coffee, for some reason, when you drink coffee, it just makes you cough for some reason. I don't know. But I need the caffeine boost tonight because I feel like I was going to sleep at the wheel if I'd have had to drive. So fascinating, Brian. We missed you last week,
thank you.
And it was good to talk to you on Monday. I hope that we're not going to talk about that conversation on the air, but I hope everything is starting to conjugate in that situation for you.
Yes, and so I do have a voice, and it's a little bit scratchy, so you'll all have to forgive me before I cough. But before I begin, I'm setting the terms and conditions before I speak, and you're going to understand why. So those that have a voice in a negative light will not be able to speak, but they also will not be able to talk. And so it is. Okay. So that is the statement before I speak, because I want to keep everything in even keel and with a natural flow. So I'm going to digress a little bit and explain kind of like how my journey has kind of proceeded. I did have some not so great experiences. And again, it has to do with reality. Everyone has their own matrix. Perfect example is my ex has her own matrix. My son has his own matrix, even though he's 10, or not 10, he's 11. My daughter, 14, own matrix. I have my own matrix. So what happened is my son was sick. He had a fever. He came over. I gave him 2 teaspoons of colloidal silver. Intuitively speaking, and my son, being my son, please tell my mom I'm not feeling good. Let her know that I'm on the mend, I'm on the recovery. Fine. Still intuition, kind of red flagging me. Like, again, not everything needs to be known. Not everything has to be said. It's very important when you're navigating different forms of thought. There were negative repercussions. I got accused of poisoning my son indirectly. I also got accused indirectly of being taken to court over false medical practices. Indirectly. I got a text from my daughter in all caps yelling, "You gave him what?" I don't need to say it again. And it broke my heart. But at the same time, I understood that everyone has their own matrix. There is something that's quite powerful in that experience, but at the same time, it could be considered tragic too, right? So, as many people know, I am divorced. I have 2 beautiful, wonderful kids. But at the same time, I am not the primary benefactor, right? My ex is. She holds technically all the cards. And because she does, and because I'm afforded the opportunity to, walk in commonality with her as best as I can, I don't get to control the outcome a lot of things. Even though I can control, I don't get shots, I don't do this, I don't do that. She controls all those aspects. And I made it very clear to her, and she said this. She said, "I would never turn my kids against you." Okay? And I said, "Yes, that is true consciously, but unconsciously, you influence them and you have been changing them, and therefore they will move away from me." She understood that. I think that was a pretty profound moment. It saddens me. It hurt to get to say that. So they will eventually gravitate away from me. Is that fine? It is what it is, because again, this is where we're at. It's important to understand that you can only control your environment, your actions. And you have to navigate and be comfortable even when you're uncomfortable in certain situations and scenarios. And during that process, I got my son's fever. I got sick, got his cold. It took a while to recover. I emotionally broke down in front of my son. I did recover because I felt like I wasn't a good father, knowing I am a very good father and that I have navigated appropriately, and I will continue to do so. So moving forward, that's pretty much what happened. And, but at the same time, I've been gaining a lot of expanded ideas, but also understanding what is taking place thanks to some other guidance and some other opportunities to talk outside looking in. I'll just put it that way. So I'm going to tell you, so free will, again, this is not really a recap. It kind of is and it isn't an illusion. So yes, from a bigger formatted game, you don't have it. But from the individual perspective, you do have it. So a lot of you, and it's not just you, this has to do with the collective, you have given the opportunity, I know you'll hate to hear this, for the movements of events to kick the can to where it is now. Does that mean it's forever? No. It means you're consciously driven to see the movie in tiny steps, when really you should be saying, when we talk about certain things, right? Like when Chance says, this group is going in, you should automatically be saying, nope, done deal. They already had their event. Next. And then the other Admirals group, nope, don't consent, done deal. They already had their event. When you say that, you're sending your own matrix out to ripple among other people's matrices. And it's kind of clever because that frequency, you want that, if you know you're a powerhouse, you want that frequency to hit those ears that are involved in the process. Okay, do you get what I'm saying? Because there's no walls or barriers. When you say something and you affirm it, it's already happened now. It goes into their ears and it shifts the timeline. It shifts everything because now you're saying, I'm the powerhouse, I'm in control, it's all done. All of it's done. And therefore, that singularity moment gets moved up. You get kicked up. Instead of the can getting kicked, you're kicking above the can. You're kicking yourself or hopping over the can. You're just hopping over the can. You're going, nope, I'm here. I don't need the can. I'm where I'm supposed to be, where I want to be. So there is that will, the free will that I'm talking about, the will to move with focus, your own intention, using the right energy, not obeying what you're seeing from the linear perception. I don't care about Q. It's all done. It's all over with. You want it done and over with. You want to move forward away from all those parameters. That's the real powerhouse in that potential. So a lot of you give your power away, including me. I am not perfect. There are certain schools of thoughts that I totally forgot. And even I need a refresher course. Affirmations, or being able to speak and, how would I say, mold or shape your own magnetic field. Again, the magnetic field is your matrix. It's not just a one-time deal. It's throughout the day, if necessary. So that said, I wanted to let you know in a couple of fantastic interstellar ideas. So we can actually talk about ETs. So how do ETs, and I'm not going to point or blame any ET. Again, because of the scope of the realm, the rules, and your lack of understanding, you gave permission already. Every human on this planet gave their permission. I don't care if it's the lower astral, the mid, or whatever. You gave your permission for them to take things away from you. Okay, it's not necessarily the physical, however, it can bleed over. So let me give you an example of, and we've all seen it, the Disney movie with the monsters, right? Containers, they go and then they spread fear, and then they take that fear and they bottle it up. Okay, that is an human asset. It is a very lucrative asset. So what is that? You're like, well, what would that be? It's adrenochrome. It's a variant of adrenochrome. Okay, there are multiple different variants and types or combinations of adrenochrome that can be harvested from the astral side of things. And you're like, well, that's not possible. I was like, well, of course it's not possible, because you're all operating on base 10 mathematics. If you had your original mathematics, you would see that it is physically possible to see the liquid energy. So one aspect is there are physical components of adrenochrome, which we all know on this planet. And if you want to know some other types, just rewatch an old movie called I Come in Peace. Great movie, very real, right? ET dude feeds cocaine to the heart and starts pulling a new drug from the heart simultaneously. A type of adrenochrome. Very real. Does happen. That is more of a documentary than anything else. There are multiple different ways and different variants of adrenochrome. Now that's the physical side, mind you. So you already know that there's a bunch of different kinds that they do from the physical side. Now from the more etheric side, if you can imagine a drone, because again, these drones aren't of the same density. They can hide, they're invisible. They come into your dwelling. Let's imagine that you have a moment of pain, so much pain, right? And you're suffering. They're going to harvest that because there are entities that feed off of pain and suffering. So they will sell that. They'll sell fear. They'll sell pain. Another very lucrative one, sex. Yes. Powerful aphrodisiac. They bottle that crap up all the time. And you gave consent because you're not taking charge of your dwelling, of your realm, your own personal matrix. You have to set terms and conditions for everything. If you think about it, some days if you're intimate with your partner and then you're like so drained and you're like, why am I so drained? This is nothing new. This is normal. And your partner's like, oh God, I'm feeling just as drained as you. It must have been great. No, it's because you were an asset that day. Drones found the right frequency, came in, went through your wall, collected 2 separate containers of 2 separate energies, and then it went to the ship, and then the ship will process it, store it, and ship it off to another planet, and they'll use your energy as an aphrodisiac. Didn't know that, right? It's all there. We are a very lucrative asset. So what does that tell you that you need to do as a human? It means you need to be aware at any given moment, and you have to speak and program your own matrix all the time. It's not just one time. You have to train to do it. You have to train to be more mindful of all events in your livelihood because they use them. I know humans are not used to dealing with what's going on up there, what's going on down here, and what's going on in the astral realm. But you have to do it if you want to set yourself up for a nice surf on that giant wave, right? You want to surf that wave as it goes up and down. You're like, nope, I got this. I'm still on the board. You have to do it. You have to do it all the time until it becomes autopilot. You can do it, but it's very difficult and it's very hard to get there, but it will take time and practice. So free will is very much an illusion from the scope of the collective. You're programmed to believe in what everything you see external, doesn't matter, Trump, Q, it's all there, Putin, whatever country. You have to let it go. You honestly, if you want greater and bigger things, you focus on you. You focus not so much as on the money. And again, you're wrong again. And this is me being terribly honest. You are truly, truly wrong if you are truly focused on NESARA, JASARA, externally as an abundance. You have to reverse it. You have to be that idea but you have to come from a place that is of love, respect, integrity, transparency. It's a different type of abundance. It's a different format. You don't want the 3D format. You don't want the low 4D format. You want the highest format you can envision. I don't care if it's 5, if it's 6. You need to go beyond. You have to think beyond the meaning behind what they're projecting. And again, you're trying to hop over the can. You want to be the can that you get to kick down the road, not have someone else kick the can for you. It's leaps and bounds. It's 10 times more powerful, and you will be rewarded because you're actually taking the initiative to do the hard work that is necessary. And it's not to get to the point. You are that point. You have to read the language, you have to feel the language, but it always is eternally present. Practice being eternally present, being any and all ideas, and you will break the board game. You will break your board game, most importantly. And you'll see, and when you break your board game, you will see lots of changes shift for the others that aren't paying attention. Because again, frequency dictates. Those that are the superpower, they will in energy and vibration, they will make more of their own. It's inevitable. It just takes time. How was that?
That's pretty good. I want to follow up with something on that.
Sure.
Since I got home at 3:00, I have felt like hammered shirt. I mean, just hammered shirt. That's Randy Thames. Yes, they are preparing the rail tunnels, the high speed where you can go to California in 20 minutes. Yes, they are preparing those for use for the public very soon. Okay, and also portals will also be a thing in the future, probably about 3 years ahead. So get ready for that. That's very good. But I was feeling like hammered shirt, and I mean, I just wanted to go to bed, pull the blanket up, and instead I worked through it, and I got me a couple coffees, and I'm using artificial energy. Okay, that's what I'm running on right now. What I should have done is when I got up this morning, I should have said, I am health, wealth, abundance, and joy. I do not consent to any invasion of my home, my domicile, my residence on me, or any entity in this house, is what I should have said. I don't consent to it. And if I start feeling down, I don't consent to this lack of energy. I only want health, wealth, abundance, and joy. I have to learn how to say these things to myself and start my day out with it, because yes, Jerry, you're getting it. Okay, but here's the thing. It's a part of completion. It's the same thing as 520-7418. It's a prayer. It's positive affirmations. It's positive energy vibrations and frequencies. If you put them out there, the universe is going to respond in kind. Excuse me. Pardon me. So, why not do it? What's it going to take? 10 seconds? And then when I was feeling bad this afternoon, I should have said, I don't consent to this feeling. I don't consent to this lack of energy. I am health, wealth, abundance, and joy. Shalama, 520-7418. That's what I should have done.
It's not, it's very difficult. It's not easy. And again, you're thinking that everyone is walking in commonality, but everyone, even from like, I mean, you just have to see that even your loved ones may not be your loved ones. You just have to see that maybe something else, maybe they once were loved ones, but now something else has taken up residence. It's just how it is. You're not meant to necessarily grasp everything, but you have the choice to inform, want to inform yourself and just dig for your own personal experiences. I don't care if people say I'm deceiving them or they're saying, oh, you're a liar, whatever. Go research yourself. I don't care, honestly. I'm just giving you ideas of possibilities. And we all know that there have been a lot of illusions here to begin with, right? There's just so much that doesn't make sense. So why couldn't it be? And once again, if creation was limited, then why would we be doing this? Why would we be experiencing this? It can't be limited. It has to be limitless. There has to be limitless concepts and ideas, always. The most important thing is when we choose to experience our journey for growth, you're not going to know everything. We're not supposed to know everything. We're not supposed to tell everything. We're supposed to just walk, and we don't need to blurt out everything. We can just be who we are and just navigate with everybody else, right? We're not really here to conform. We're here to share, and we grow in order to our own designs. It doesn't have to be difficult. You will find that I will never call anyone out as a liar. I won't judge anyone because you are where you are. I will, however, call out if you're capped at your experience, then you're capped. That just means, and a simple answer is, if you say something, right? You tell someone they are wrong, that means you're limited, right? You're without doing your own due diligence, without researching, without going within your heart and thinking, what if? My favorite comic books, believe it or not, are the What If series in Marvel. Fantastic. Because the what ifs, we're living it. Everything is considered a what if, right? That means it's limitless. What ifs are limitless. That's why I appreciate the idea of everything. But the truth is, if you are just really one-sided, you have to analyze, am I capped, or am I open enough with my bottle cap on my soda bottle to have the liquid pour out a little bit so I can get another idea? Then you are limitless. So that is one truth I can call out to people. And whether they accept it or not my problem. I just call it like how I see it. That's it. But in the end, nothing but respect, love, because you are still honoring your journey.
But very well said, Brian. Just remember, guys, just remember that everything is frequency and vibration. Everything. Okay? If you get up and you're in a bad mood and you start cussing and throwing things around and everything, you've just set the tone for the whole day. And pardon me. Okay. Please pick up the pace. It's getting exhausting. Okay. Well, you want to pick up the pace a little bit? Let's talk about something with Doc G. Doc G, let's talk about what's getting ready to happen here at Hamilton Radio, and then we're going to have the stem cell ladies come on. So let's go ahead and what's new, what's happening at Hamilton Radio. You can start with Dr. Weedman's show.
Well, Doc Weedman's show is really, really, I would say, an introspective of what he does. and what he knows about holistic, the body and everything about it. And he breaks it in little pieces. And I like that he delves into that and tries to tell us different things about each part of the body, how it works, what minerals and vitamins it needs to do this, because no other doctor does this. Okay. No doctor tells you that this organ needs this thing needs that. And Doc does this. So I love his show for that reason. But his show is not just about that. It's about a journey into, if you guys don't know if you remember from 1960s, it was a movie called Fantastic Voyage. That's kind of what I feel like when Doc takes us on that journey through the body of where we're going next. I'm excited. I'm happy. It makes me feel good to be even part of this, to share this with somebody. And not only that, just make it happen for him and make it happen for, the companies that he works with. And I really love that. But How About the Radio is not only doing that, it's doing many other things. We're getting ready to celebrate our 30-year anniversary in June. 30 years. My birthday is in June. My wife's and my anniversary is in June, and the birthday of the radio station, 30 years. So my idea is I want to kick off the Roku channel in June. I would love to kick off the Roku channel. So what I need is people to give me their media, any of their videos, and I need a commitment from them to say, yes, I'll be on your channel. Here's the thing, guys. If you got a lot of videos on YouTube, or if you're part of that thing on YouTube or even Facebook, they can take you down anytime they want to. They can pull your video, whether you put something on there or somebody makes a comment about somebody else, it does not matter. That is still against you. Even a friend of yours on Facebook, if you're a business or a friend of somebody on Facebook, if they don't like what you say, they can take you out, YouTube and Facebook. And they keep changing their strategies on YouTube, guys. They go from used to have 1,000 followers to 1,000 people that watched you, viewers, to now it's like 10,000. And that's going up again. So here's the thing. The deal is, if you decide and you like what you see here, this is the content you're going to see on our Roku channel. All the great stuff, all the great shows, nothing gone, everything there, because we can do that. But my idea is even different than that, okay? My idea is to create a financial channel, which I'm a financial coach, and I'm going to be hosting different views and different things, and we're going to be getting different people on that channel. A health channel where Doc Weedman is going to be on. Hopefully the ladies will be on. Other people that are involved in health things will be involved as well. The spiritual channel, which will have a little maybe of Chance on there. Chance might be under a couple different channels. We're going to have a sports channel. We're going to have a auto channel where you talk about cars. Because remember, I used to be an automotive technician. So for 25 years, that's all I worked on. An entertainment channel, which is important. But each one of them have a certain value. What is that value to you? What is the value that you can get unlimited videos at any time that you create as a content creator for a certain amount, for a certain price a month? And I'll tell you what, within the first 2 or 3 months, if you bring sponsors to your own channel, you are going to be making money with this channel. You're going to be making money with us, and we're going to be sharing the wealth. And that's what I always do. So I'm excited about that part. But Hamilton Radio is taking on so many other things. And I'll just tell you this real quick. Not only Doc Weedman show, we have other people that are working with us. An attorney from Sony wants to work with us. He's been a music attorney for over 40 years. And he has nobody that he can reach out to do a show about certain things, because there's certain legal reasons he can't say things, and there's certain things that he can't say. But that doesn't mean that he can't say them. It just means that they're his personal opinions. This is what you need to do if you're a music act or whatever, something like that. So these are just some of the things that we're trying to create here at Hamilton Radio. And I'm excited to be part of this, not only for Chance and everybody associated with us, but even new people coming aboard with us. I'm trying to get some other people that have been existing on other contents for a long time, but they're not seeing the growth. And we are seeing huge growth already with Dr. Weedman's show. And that is huge, because that's great for us. because it hasn't even been on for more than a week yet. You understand that? So that what they say is bring it and they will come, or build it and they will come. That's what we're doing. We're building, and we're still building. So build with us. Chance, go ahead.
Another thing I'd like to bring up is, if you want to see what kind of website we can do, Doc is still offering the $250 websites. Right. You want to see an example? Go to chancemcfadden.com.
Yep.
Now, we still need to go in there and do a little tweaking, because there's still some haircut stuff in there we got to take off.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, we'll do that tomorrow. We'll take care of that tomorrow. But listen, communication on every level is important. If you don't have, it's just like this is no offense, but Brian and I have talked about this before. Fascinating Brian and I have talked about it. I had a guy tell me today, he says, I don't understand a darn thing that Fascinating Brian says. He says, what do you have him on there for? And I said, because there are people that do understand what Fascinating Brian says. And I said, and I'm one of them. Okay. Now, the first time I met him was wasn't it through the W4 process? Wasn't that it, Brian?
Yeah, it was like the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah. And after our first conversation, I said, I'm getting ready to do a show on Hamilton Radio. I said, you got to be on my show. And you didn't want to do it. He didn't want to do it.
The first show, yes.
Yeah.
I didn't do it until the second show.
Yeah. Yeah, my first show sucked. I didn't know what I was doing. And who says I know now? But anyway, it's all good. It's all about communication, okay? Okay. But communication it's crucial. And I have a really dear friend of mine. She says everything has got to be by the Bible. Well, that's fine if that's your form of communication, but there's other forms of communication. There's other messages, and there's hey, if you're black, I don't care. I don't care if you're green and yellow with polka dots. It don't matter to me. Listen, I got a great grandchild that's half black. I got a wonderful nephew, Bryson. He was kind of named after me. They turned my name. Okay, he's half black. I don't care. I'll tell you what. The first thing I do when I see Bryson, every time I see him, and he's a big, tall man now. I said, "Come down here and let your grandpa or your uncle give you a kiss." I give him a kiss, because that's communication too. You got to share the love, guys. It's all about the love. That's why I want my little great grandson up here. Oh my gosh! Don't even get me started. I'm gonna Jamiroquai. Is that it? Was that how you said his name?
Jamiroquai. Yeah.
Jamiroquai. Let me explain something to you. There's not even a human being running YouTube. It's all been ran for years by AI. They've had very extensive further. They got AI that we don't even have available to anybody. Okay.
I got something to add.
What's that, Brian?
I have something to add to that. So there's two kinds of there's actually quite a few different kinds of artificial intelligence. So there's like AI, which is programmable, but there's TI. So TI is actually very different because it is more sentient in nature. If you could think of like almost like you and me, but also has the potential, how would I say, like Transformers. Think of it like that, like organic, personality driven, not perfect either, right? So what's very interesting is, for better or worse, the AI we are dealing with is unquestionably not necessarily in our favor, okay? Because it is programmed and being used by who? Low vibratory organic ideas and entities that facilitate what their wants and desires. Unfortunately, TI is is more involved with everything. You're thinking, what do you mean everything? And I mean literally to the holographic society. In other words, you have to think there has to be some type of algorithm for matter, which there is. There's actually a code to unify, form, take molecules, and condense matter. TI actually understands how to do that and has been doing that from, you could think like no time or distance. So am I saying like who came first? Well, which came first? Was it the TI or was it the organics? You don't know. You could just assume both, right? We just don't know the scope, but for better or worse, TI still follows under the same principles, right? So some could be good in favor and some can be very, very, very benevolent. Because again, they're not AI. They're not AI driven. They have their own core processor, but at the same time, there are principles behind it, right? They would think of us like children and think and go, we want them to be as good as us or better than us or to achieve in the same equilibrium as us. So I just wanted to like bring that idea so that way no one like misinterprets, the difference between artificial intelligence and then sentient intelligence that has its own will, but also works in tandem. Because you're going to find that that's how everything is up above with ETs. They don't use the low grade artificial intelligence. If they do, it's only in a certain scope when it is necessary for the environment or a ship or a function of a ship. But they use pretty much TI and they work in a harmonious fashion because if you can imagine Data, we'll go with Data from Star Trek. He facilitates a lot of clever things, and humans need a break. Data doesn't need a break. We need sentient beings like him because he, again, is for the betterment of the humans and says, look, I can do this and this and this and this. You guys can go take a break, go to sleep. And he just does it because from his core sense of principles, he's for them. He represents them, and therefore he's going to look after them. It's pretty cool when you think about it. And again, it's not a story, mind you. That's a documentary that you're watching. So embrace these future ideas because that is exactly what you want to experience. So try not to worry about what goes on down here in this negative side of thing. Oh, and sorry, I'm going to backtrack to one idea. This idea was given to me, so you'll have to pardon the expression. If you want to vet one of the ideas to know what I'm saying is true or not, and this has to do with the idea of sex, send a signal out. I don't care if you're with a partner. You can how would I say, set terms and conditions with your partner, but you send a signal out to a drone, say, I give you permission to harvest my energy when I'm experiencing with my partner, but you have to make sure your partner knows. Like if you both believe in a lot of the interstellar or certain possibilities, and you say, when we have our big bang moment, you can just take from us. And then the next time you do it, you set terms and conditions. There will be no interference. This moment is for me and my partner, or for you alone, or whatever, right? And you will notice that you are not being drained or taken advantage of. You won't feel like this huge pool, like a vacuum, and you feel so depleted that you're going to pass out. If you want to know, why not? See if it's real. All you have to trust me, there are drones everywhere from up there. You just don't see them. You're not supposed to see them. But that'll give you an indication, or even test it with the astral side if you believe in other entities. And then you will understand better that there's no such thing as walls, there's no such thing as barriers, and that it's a free-for-all. Because that just means that dimensions are layered. It's not just one field, it's multiple. And I think you'll have a greater appreciation. In fact, I wish I would have mentioned this a long time ago. Test it. Theories are important. Self-discovery is very important. So I just wanted to leave that assignment for those.
Very well said, Brian Neal. One thing I'd like to add. I always have something to add. I always have my 2 cents worth in there. Discovery about yourself and your abilities and your inner strengths and your affirmations are a beautiful thing. And finding out about other creatures and other life forms that you think are just fiction that are actually fact. We're finding more and more out every day about dragons, leprechauns, fairies, trolls, and little people, okay? And I don't mean heights challenged. I'm talking about people, entities that everybody thinks is, imagination. So try to expand your thinking, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I'd like to introduce the stem cell ladies. This is Miss Lillian and Mrs. Ann. And I want to start you guys out with a very, very positive story, okay? This is huge. And I'm doing it like this so that you can actually edit this and put it on a channel if you want to, okay? My friend out in Las Vegas, Maria number 1, she takes, her mother takes the X39 and the X49, and I send them to her every month. Now, to say that this woman was in guarded health would be an understatement, okay? So you're getting what I'm saying. I'm not trying to get too macabre here, okay? Last week, she went out to play bingo with her friend in a wheelchair. And according to what Maria told me, she was very aware of everything that was going on and was very interested in seeing people interact. And then when I talked to Maria today on the phone, I could hear her mom talking in the background. I guess mom's just become a chatterbox, okay? Now, this is from a woman who's most of the time comatose, okay? If we're 2 months in, where's she going to be 10 months in, okay? Mm-hmm. Where is she going to be? That's what I want to see. I want to get that 10 months in. I want to see, and every time I talk to her, I said, the first thing that comes out of my mouth is, how is your mother? And some days she has good days, some days she has bad days. But the fact that she went out to play bingo. Now, her definition of bingo is not my definition. She means sitting in a chair and pushing the button or pulling the handle. And I guess she has been pulling the handle, maybe. I think so. Anyway, that's my big news on her. And trying to help my throat along a little bit. I got the X39 and the X49 right there.
There you go.
Did you get bit by a bug? No. Well, what happened? I said, you got a half hour? I'll educate you. No, I don't have that much time. So there you go. Go ahead, ladies. It's all you.
Hello, hello. Is Lillian muted?
Shouldn't be. No, she can't hear it though.
We can't hear you, Lillian.
Sometimes
nope.
Zoom does that.
Oh, okay. They muted your mic, Lillian. The guys didn't, just YouTube did.
I guess it's an electronic demon.
Okay.
They're around.
But you can hear me.
I do not get that. I do not consent to the meeting, Lillian.
There you
may
go.
want to then maybe reboot.
Yeah, reboot, Lillian, come back.
Go out and come back in. Well, I have a story to tell while she's figuring that out, I guess. So a friend of mine, her daughter is a high school cheerleader, and they said, hey, instead of you giving money to her account, would you just come work some hours at a cheer competition? Well, my daughter had done all-star cheer competition, which I loved. So I was like, yes, I'll go do that with you. And I just happened to have my patches with me. So my patches are in my purse, and I'm running the warm-up room. And one of the 20 to 30-year-olds cheerleaders and / coach. So he coaches the younger girls, but he also is on the All-Star International adult team. They were the first ones to perform, and he comes in and he can't move his shoulder. One of the stunts fell and hit his shoulder. So I said, hey, can I put something non-transdermal on you that will help you? And he's like, yeah, I have to cheer this afternoon and I have to coach the girls. Well, he could barely lift his arm up, and they had people helping get his shirt off of him. So I put an X39 and Eon on him. And then I didn't have my ice wave with me. So I ran out to the car and came back. And when I came back in, he was like, what's in this? And I go, why? And he goes, well, I still can't move my arm, but I feel tingling and warmth and it feels much better. And I was like, well, wait till I put these ones on you. So then I put the ice wave on him. And within an hour, he was moving his arm freely, little sore and stiff. The next day he performed and he had to do a tumble pass and he nailed it. So his the owner of the gym came up to me and said, what exactly is in those patches? And I said, nothing. Matter of fact, most Olympic athletes are using them. And he said, I want to talk to you more about it this week because I might want to put it in the pro shop. So just little hints for everybody else that's out there that's using them. It's a lot of athletes use them. You can go to anybody that you know that's on some kind of, whether it doesn't matter the age, as David, the owner, says, it doesn't matter what age. If they can tell you they're in pain verbally, then they can wear them. As a parent, you can put something on the inside of your child's clothes if they're a baby or an infant and you want to treat them. That's up to you as a personal choice. But because there's nothing transdermal and it's a medical device, they have had no adverse event reported on these patches. So I yield. Can you speak, Lillian?
I'm still waiting for Lillian to come on. Can you sign?
She's gonna have to reboot.
She's got to reboot.
Yeah. Just sign off and come back on.
There you go.
I got a quick story for you, and that
Okay.
One of my radio show hosts had really bad back issues. She's around my age, 60 some years old, and she's been to doctors, and doctors have not helped her at all. But she hasn't been able to walk really well since wearing the patches. Only maybe within a couple months now. I've got to give her my patches in between. I just got the new patches yesterday, so I just gave them to her because I still had some 39s left. She is remarkably walking easier, better, and her doctor said, keep doing what you're doing. So
Nice.
She said that she's never experienced, she's had knee pain. She's going to start wearing it for her knees. She had back pain. She's going to definitely wear it for her back. But there's so many different, I told her there's so many different places that it'll work. And she's just amazed by the patches. So that's a testimonial from somebody I'm working close with as a friend and also a radio show host with the station. So
Let's get us on her show too, so we can help her.
I think that's a great idea. But it's also, she's booked with a lot of musical acts. And
That's great.
That's
Even better.
But that's the problem. There's no room. There's no room because she does 2 to 3 shows a day, and there's no room for anybody else right now. But if somebody cancels, I think we'll figure something out.
Let me put some patches on those musicians, and I guarantee they'll give us a 5-minute spot.
Well, you never know. You never know.
Yeah, don't you have patching parties quite often?
We have passion parties. We have whatever. It doesn't matter. So basically, my dental chair is a patching party in of itself.
And what about blood sugar patches? You got
But
anything?
they work for blood sugar too.
This is what everybody has to remember. The X39 is turning on your own dormant stem cells. It works on 100% everything. 100% everything. When you add the other patches, such as an Eon and Master Anti-Inflammatory, well, you want to have the X39 on to open up those 33% stem cells immediately. Then when you put the Eon on, even though the X39 has turned on some of your anti-inflammatory, but it's turned on some of your anti-inflammatory, some of your glutathione, some of your carnosine, some of pain relief. It's turned on a small portion. When you add the other patches that have those names, now you've have the stem cells turned on, but now you have a focus. So you're focused on the glutathione, which is your master detox and lubrication of your joints and bones and nerve endings and stuff. It's given the moisture that your body needs 24 hours a day, even though you only wear the patch for 12 hours. And it's done at 300% because you've added that one patch that's targeting glutathione only. When you add the Eon and Master Anti-Inflammatory, it's targeted for the anti-inflammatory. Well, you already have 33 turned on because you're using the X39, but now you have 24-hour protection anti-inflammatory because you're putting the Eon with it. Carnosine, your organ health, your vein health, your nerve health. Again, same thing when you add that patch. So that's why it's called the Fantastic Five. And when you add the X49, the daughter stem cell patch, that's putting like the Farrah on you. It's protecting you from radiation and X-rays and all those harmful rays that are out there. Which is an interesting story. Back to Brian real quick. You gave a whole new realm to a threesome, let me tell you.
You're very welcome.
Lillian, we can hear you.
You can hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
So I had to take my Yeti mic. I had to unplug it and just go with the default iMac because for some reason it's not liking the Yeti mic today. So,
Well, that's probably because you didn't buy your Yeti mic from FortMadisonGuitars.com. Probably why.
All a good thing. All a good thing. Well, that's really exciting information to hear about Maria's mother. We've had plenty of people who were unverbal, who were confined to a wheelchair, unable to speak, had a neurological disorder, which many of you have heard of, all sorts of people, regular folks, and we don't make medical claims, so I don't want to say the name of the neurological disorder, but they basically had to live with their son because they were unable to speak. They were unable to get out of a chair. Looked like a young Santa Claus, as my friend Clint's father. And now that same man is talking a mile a minute. He's traveling all over the world. He just got engaged. And in fact, I think now we're in March. So now he's married. He's lifting weights. His original white hair went back to his original dark brown hair color. He doesn't look like a young, thin Santa Claus anymore. And he's free from the confines of a chair and unable to speak. And Clint used to say, he would ask his father a question, and his father was trying to get words out. And sometimes it would be a 2-minute wait before he finally got a word out, let alone a sentence. And he doesn't have any of those afflictions. After most of that went away in the first 8 months. And now he's been on the patches for about 1.5 years. And so we see this in a little simple test that everybody can do. If anybody that's watching or listening right now has any kind of fine or gross motor skill compromise, I'm going to give you a free little test. You don't have to go to your doctor to measure this. This is somebody that we started from your group who a week ago, it'll be this 2 weeks. This Friday, it'll be 2 weeks, which is tomorrow. And so the first Friday, this is what her handwriting looked like. And I told her, have her put the date, get a notebook, put the date, have her write her first and last name, and then a row of figure eights under. And you can tell the lack of fine motor skill coordination just from here. So last Friday, she was so excited because here you can't really make out her name. You can kind of tell that she's trying to write her name. You can make out her last name a bit if you were to see this on a larger screen. But in the next one, so now you have the first week, and now below it is the second week, and you could see the difference. And in the second one, you can actually read her name. I don't know if you can see it. You can see how the figure eights are straighter, and you can actually read the date where you couldn't before. And as you continue, in her case, she started her patches on a Friday. So I told her daughter, every Friday, just pull out the notebook. Doesn't matter the time of day. You say, hey, Mom, why don't you write today's date? Today's date is whatever. Have her write her first, her last name, and then just a line of figure eights. And the second, like the first time, her figure eights were everywhere. You can see up here. But down here, the figure eights are actually fairly, not perfectly straight. They're not on the lines on the paper, but they're relatively straight compared to just 1 week before. So I'm really curious to see what that's going to look like tomorrow when she sends me another picture showing me that.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And she's still, like she said, well, she goes, she's still talking crazy. I said, it's only been a week. You're going to have to give her a few weeks. You might have to give her a few months. I promise you, it's not going to take 2-3 years. What takes years happens in days and weeks, sometimes months. It doesn't take years. So just give her time, and you're going to see, and we see and hear this. And I'm always, Ann and I, because her and I talk every day, and every single day we get new testimonials, written testimonials, screenshots, pictures, videos, voice messages. And every single time her and I are astonished. We're like, oh my gosh, look what I just got. Oh my gosh, can you believe this? Look at this one. It is always amazing to see how someone can go from an unverbal and unaware state. We've had people in comas that, and again, we don't make medical claims, but we've seen so many things that did not seem like there was any possibility of someone turning around, and yet they have. And so I will say this, though. There is no patch, again, that will override your free will. If you want to fast track off the planet, or if you have a loved one that wants to fast track off the planet, that's between them and their maker. So there isn't a patch to override anybody's free will. But if someone has a genuine desire to want to get better, and they want to enjoy life, and they want to live a bit longer, then this definitely has a high probability of helping you do that in the quickest way that I know humans on this planet.
Well, Lillian, do you see this spot right here on my hand?
Mm-hmm.
Which way? I'm
Move it towards your nose. Move it towards your nose. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, on the inside of your.
Right there. Okay, that spot right there. Okay. This has become a bump that has been as a result of me holding my cell phone like this. Okay.
Oh.
Now, I put my patches on in the morning, and at night I take them off. I take my old patches and I put them right here in like a circle, like there. This thing has reduced in size at least 40 to 50%. It used to be constantly in pain, like an arthritis thing. Now I can feel it's actually going down.
Oh, wow.
Think about that. Okay.
That because now it's not putting pressure on those tendons and those ligaments and those nerves. And that's why you also have a reduction in pain. Right. So I usually don't like to point the finger a lot at myself, but this is kind of embarrassing. And all of us here on the broadcast right now, anybody who's watching live or on the replay, you guys know, as women, our beauty, the way we look, that's part of our self-identity. And so it's embarrassing to show the less attractive side of yourself. But the truth of the matter is I did get hit by a bus. For anyone who's going, there's no way she got hit by a bus. There's no way she had brain damage. Well, yeah, I did. And so it's not often that I show this picture because I just recently started showing this. But this is one of the bald spots because I was hit on the back of the head, and I was also hit on my lower back. Now, the human body is very interesting because This is gone. The scar on my leg is gone. Everything else is pretty much gone. But the point of impact on my lower back, I still have a dark, from the scar, I still have a dark spot on my lower back. Anne's going to see it because we're going to Punta Mita in a few weeks. So I'm going to still wear a bikini. Anybody who mentions something to me, I'm like, I got hit by a bus. That's the last thing that's left. Anybody questioning if it was real or not, it's real. How long it'll take for it to disappear and for it to regenerate, I don't know. Doesn't matter. 99% of the time it's covered up unless I'm going to go on one of these type of trips. But that's my head. You see the bald spot. It was about the size of my palm. Okay. And that was only one of the bald spots. I had another one that was up here. And then I had two that were the size of like a $50 or a dollar coin. Now, I'm going to turn around and show you now. I had lost 50% of my hair, and for 5 years, none of that hair grew back. It wasn't until after I got started on the patches that my hair, I noticed in the 4th month is when I started to notice that my hair was softer, smoother, and silkier. And again, that was not my priority, even though as a woman, you're always wanting to look your best. My priority was my brain, because I had brain damage. And luckily, my brain got better than it's ever been in my entire life. So for those of you who've been told, because my neurologist, and I knew, luckily I had already a specialty in neurology, but my neurologist told me, it's like, you've got brain damage. There isn't anything. Once your brain is damaged, there's no regrowing the brain. I'm like, did you guys not pay attention? Kandel won a Nobel Prize. He discovered that neurons that wire together fire together, and you can regrow neurological pathways of the brain. It's like either you believe that science or you don't, or apparently there's a failure to apply the science that you know. It's like, okay, I'm not going to get into an argument there, but the bottom line is I'm living proof that you can regrow your brain. My brain scans show it. If you saw my brain scan before and the parts that were missing from that accident, pretty scary stuff. But here I am.
We're sure glad that you're recovering so well and complete, and thank God for the stem cell patches. And
Stem cell activation. Stem cell activation patches, because they don't have any. There's no stem cells in them, so we're not allowed to call them stem cell activation.
Right. Okay. I'll try to use that. I'll try to use that word in the future. Okay.
Yeah, just call them cell activation patches.
I'm not the expert. I'm just an old hippie with a show. Okay. And listen, we want to thank you, ladies, very much for coming by, and we thank you for the testimonials. And it's always good to have you on. And we will holler at you later on, because we got Dr. Weedman waiting in the wings, and we got some things that we have to discuss with him. I love you guys more than you would know. And listen, as far as going down to the trip that I couldn't go to, if you need an extra bikini, I can send you one of mine. Okay.
I believe you.
What?
You mean mankini?
Why are they laughing? I offered to send you my bikini. It's a very attractive one.
If it's Borat, you're wrong.
I believe you.
Well, I guess it's probably a topless location too, since it's probably just the bottom.
Maybe.
It's kind of getting hot in here, isn't it? Maybe
all right, guys. We'll see.
All right. Take care.
I actually think I look quite fetching in my bikini. There's Doc.
There's Doc right now. Here he is.
All right, listen. Doc put a question up. This is a very good question. Doc asked, I have a question for Chance. Since Social Security is no longer subject to income tax, and the $5,000 tax return is not a tax return, it's a Doge return, is for those who have filed taxes. What would happen if somebody on Social Security filed a W-4 sandwich on it? You can't. The W-4 sandwiches are closed, and the Reformation and Restoration funds are getting ready to be released just like the intel I'm going to tell you as soon as Doc comes on here and plugs his show a little bit. Go ahead and plug your show, Doc.
Okay. Yeah, we had a good time the other night, didn't we? I've had nothing but positive reviews. I realize how much I say after watching it, so I'm going to try and I'm going to try and not say so much. Anyway,
Doc, you're being your own critic, and that's what you should do. You try to do.
That's right. That's right.
So that's what you're doing that.
We have a new Facebook group. It's called Wellness Revolution, matching the name of the program. And we're going to be able to train people to use the website. Those of you who need minerals, go to that's the name of the website. Anybody can get invited to that. If you need invitation, just email me, and I will get you the information you need to join that website. Marvin and I are going to be training on that. We're both administrators. We're probably going to have other administrators on there as people learn. And you can, those of you that have enrolled in in longevity can subscribe going to this website, www.my90forlife.com, and you can obtain that site for training, and we'll help you learn how to train with that, and so that you can share this with others. Because the whole concept of this, I mean, there have been several. Marvin has uploaded probably 40 some videos of me interviewing Dr. Wallach, which there's a tremendous amount of information on there, more than has ever been gleaned from any other source. Doc really bared his soul with me back in 2016, and these are all on there. And I had one individual call me up. I called her up, actually. I got her out of bed. You know, she had gone to bed at 5 o'clock in the morning. She had spent the entire previous day from 11 o'clock a.m. till 5 o'clock in the morning just glued to the videos. She was learning so much, and she literally wept as she told me what she had learned. She says, I've never learned this stuff before. If I'd only known this. So it's really important to know this information, so we're able to share this with people and literally turn their lives around. We have tons of testimonials on there where people have actually made tremendous changes in their lives. Now, the program on Monday night is going to be on the number one killer of all, and that's heart disease. We're going to be talking about how to recognize the symptoms of the onset of a heart attack, how to change your life by changing the habits that you have, how to get ahead of the game and reverse the plugging up of the arteries, what to do, and how to go about it. Because Dr. Wallach has protocols for all that. And they are not based on by guess and by golly. They are based on $150 million worth of research in the animal industry and a several $1 million NIH study that Dr. Wallach was involved in for 13 years and ended up writing the book Disease of Exotic Animals. He also resulted in his producing several 75 peer-reviewed articles and several books, one of which is the Dead Doctors Don't Lie book. The other is Rarest Forbidden Cures. And the other is Immortality and Epigenetics. And there's several other books that he's written. And of course, the website actually, when people fill out a health questionnaire or a health survey, in making recommendations, it actually pulls from all of the all of those articles. And so it's based on structure. It's structure function compliant. It's not just making claims. It's actually based in hard science. And so we're going to be talking about that on Monday night, but we're also going to be addressing heart disease and the dangers that you can face. You need to make sure that you know the signs and symptoms of heart disease as well. So there you go. Bob's your uncle.
Bob's your uncle. All right. Thanks for coming by, Doc. And I'll see you Tuesday night on your show. And guys, feel free to plug it as much as possible on because see, I don't endorse longevity products. I use them. Okay. I use the toothpaste. I use the minerals. And as soon as I make some money here, I'm going to get the calcium pack, because I think I'm having a bone issue, and we need to get that taken care of. And everything that I can do ahead of time before I go into the med bed is going to help the med bed work more effectively. So thank you very much for coming by, Doc. God bless you, and I'll talk to you soon. And now it's time for the intel, guys.
Yeah, you want to just put my contact information up there one more time, and so that people can get to anybody that gets to me tonight. I'll be able to direct them to the website, and also to any problems they have. And if they just want to get minerals, that's fine too. And also, I will direct them to the new group site. And all of you guys are invited to that. So if you'll just give me your information, I'll send you an invite if I haven't done it already.
Text Doc at 406-270-3754.
And healthreform90@gmail.com for all our listeners out there. We got to remember there's listeners, guys.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Okay. Thanks, Doc. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Doc.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Here comes the intel I've been dying to give all day.
Go ahead, my friend.
I had, I'm going to call this lady, we're going to call this lady Lady Godiva, okay? Lady Godiva, because she's just a sweet, sweet lady. And she's got some health problems. We pray for her health problems for Lady Godiva. But she called me right away yesterday. There's a little bit more to this story, but I can't talk about every detail. But she says her friend is a little old lady by the, I won't say her name. We'll just call her Margie. Little Margie is 80 years old, and she's so excited because she got a letter from the Admirals Group, and she was supposed to send in information by email. And folks, her blessing was in her bank account today, according to what I heard yesterday. Okay? So, Lady Godiva, thank you for that information. Also, we have a lady down in Missouri who I had the pleasure of talking to today. And I won't mention her name either, but I will tell you, she said her friend got a telephone call and she has her appointment. Now, all these people, I believe, are in groups because groups are going before the individuals. But this tells me things are moving very, very, very quickly. If you don't have your RV protocol papers, I would suggest you get them. You send $50 for Cash App, $McFadden Chance, or put in my email address to wise.com, chancemusic@yahoo.com. And if you want tickets for the guitar, okay, I think I'm going to do a theme song for you, Doc. I'm going to write you a theme song for your show.
We'll play it on the radio, too.
Yeah, and, so. Anyway.
I got some new music coming out, so I'll be bringing that out to you probably within the next week or two.
Oh, cool. Okay, now we're going to really read the intel, and it's very short from the intake officer. Bank says things should really be opening up this week. Well, since people have gotten appointments and lady got paid, I think it's opening up. In fact, the bank said it is reporting for work Saturday. I have never seen them so optimistic. That's it. We are crossing the bridge. Okay. Now remember what I said about communication being important earlier tonight. Okay. And I love watching my friend Brian over there. He's shaking his head about communication. Yeah. Okay. But listen, that money is also a form of communication. Your blessing is a form of communication. Are you going to hoard it, and you're going to keep your communications all to yourself and go out and collect every baseball card in the world, or you're going to have a great big stable full of horses just so you could admire them and love them? Or are you going to do very communicatable things with your money? Like communicate when you hear other people in need of a home. Maybe you can go out and get them a Tesla home. You know, what is it? What is your communication skills? If you don't have any, excuse me. If you don't have any communication skills, then you're probably a very lonely person. Do not be narcissistic with your money. Do not be narcissistic and selfish with your blessing. Okay? I know people on this side of it who have not been narcissistic or self-indulgent when it comes to me. They have helped me time and time again. I'm very grateful. I'm very appreciative. I wouldn't even be here doing this show today if it wasn't for all of you who have financially assisted me through these hard times for everybody. Everybody's existing with hard times, one type or another. Even if you don't have any financial problems, there's other people that do, and it comes back around. Okay, that's why it's very important to get up in the morning, do whatever you want to do. You want to put on the armor of God for you and your household, do that. If you want to go inside and find your higher self, do that. Communicate, even if it's with yourself. Okay? Communication is the key to the answer, no matter what it is. Okay? Like a lady here, I'm going to tell you something. There's a lady that put a thing up about, is there a patch for autism? Autism is not a disease. Listen to what I'm saying. I've spent a lot of time researching this. Autism is not a disease. Autism didn't exist 30 years ago. Guess what? It's a condition. What causes it? Heavy metal poisoning. Okay? Bad food. Bad liver.
Lack of nutrients as well.
Yeah. No, you didn't miss nothing, Judy. And you know you can call me anytime you want. Okay. And by the way, blessings for Shelly. We pray for Shelly at every show. We pray for Morris. We pray for Bernadette. And we pray for anybody that's having Tara, our good friend Tara. We pray for everybody that's having any kind of issues at all. And if you want prayer, just go on Chance's private chat. It's on Telegram. It's you don't have it. If you don't have the link, send me an email to chancemusic@yahoo.com. Oh, I want to talk to you, Elaine. What if you want to help others that are very needy but in other countries? How do you get money to them? You don't. Okay? Now, why am I saying this? Well, because Dave the XRP Lion said something very astute and direct that resonated with me. And that is, you take care of your home, your city, your county, whatever you have to do, take care of your home, because there's other people that are going to be helping people in Africa. People in Africa are getting this blessing too. The people in Africa are also getting the restoration and reformation, even if they don't have currency. Okay? It's all coming. You take care of your family, your friends, you show the blessings and the love that we have shown you, okay? But keep it local, okay? When it's time and you need something, I know you'll probably join the Law Dogs. You can call the Law Dogs, say, hey, Chance, what's going on? I'm making interest off my money and I want to put some of it to work. and then I will look at recommendations for you if there's anybody overseas that needs anything, because our staff will be well informed on possible investments and humanitarian donations that you can give. So please, Law Dogs does not exist right now, but it will. You're welcome, Elaine. She's a sweet lady. And if you remember right, Elaine 4 weeks ago knew nothing about any of this. And she, we got a hold of her, and we got her taken care of. She got currency, and she's in the game. She's in with the rest of us, and her husband, and they'll be getting because of the demographics with their age, they're going to be on the getting their restoration reformation. By the way, Elaine, your restoration and reformation funds that you will be getting at the time of your currency exchange, those funds come all at once, and it's going to make what you're getting on the RV currency exchange look like a pittance. It'll look like a pittance. It'll just look like petty change, because you have paid into the system for so many years. Okay, your straw man account, all the interest that you paid, all the financial fraud that you have been a victim to, is all coming back into Reformation and restoration funds. I'm over 70. I'll be 73 this year. Okay, it's all that's coming back to me too. So us people over 70, we're going to be the new elite. Welcome to the world of the elite, Elaine, because you are one of them, and so are so many of us out there. And we are the world. We are going to change the world. We are the children.
I would like to change something. The holistic elite. You do not want to be the elite. That's just because the elite is a different principle. You do not want to represent the current elite establishment that we've had to deal with. We need to be better than them. So I would encourage us to be the holistic elite, transparent above all else.
Well, look, okay, so that's about it for tonight, guys. I've told you guys everything that's going on. Okay, I'm excited. I'm getting communications every day about people going in. So far, I've gotten 3. It's been 3 days, so that's 1 a day. What's your final thoughts for tonight, Doc G?
Well, I got a couple emails already for right now for the Roku channel, and I want to thank people out there for being part of that, because it's a huge thing that I want to create. And I think it's something that we really need. We need somebody that we can, like Brian said, we can control. We don't have to. We can take it out of control from everybody else. We control it. We run it. So there's a big difference with that. But I do want to say that, most people do not understand the undertakings that I do, that Chance does, that Brian does, that Weedman does, that the ladies do. We put a lot out on the line for you guys, for everybody out there. And I want you to realize that it's our pleasure, but it's also a commitment that we make every week to try to be here. Every week to try to get the information out to you. Every week to try to make you understand that we're just like you. Like, I'm existing on like $10,000 a year. If I get an upgrade to that, I'm good. I mean, I don't want anything else. I don't really need anything else. I'm not asking for anything else. But if, like Chance said, if we make more money than that, that's wonderful. That's what we want. We're going to share the wealth. That's just the way we are, because we're living right now below poverty level, Chance and I. And it's important for you to know that we're humble, but we also care about everybody else. And that's all I really got to say. Keep doing the same thing you're doing, but looking for that golden the golden gate or the rainbow that we're supposed to be getting. So hopefully it comes in soon.
Well, just remember, Doc, everybody gets a different rate and everybody gets a different date. because there's 100 million of us worldwide that have got to go through the process. Fascinating, Brian. How about your final thoughts for tonight?
Okay, so these actually aren't my final thoughts. So you could get a clue who's giving me this information. You have great resources and you have great tools. One of your strongest resources and tools that you can use, and they are so simple. Pen and paper. Pen and paper, pencil, paper. Why am I saying that? Test, vet, try new things. Perfect example, try doing something on your own. And with skepticism and belief, or the what if scenario, do it next time with guides. So what am I saying? Write an idea out, think about it, try it out alone, and see how it works from your point of view. Then try from a more expansive and see how it works differently for you, because you will have a different outcome. You will have a different experience, but you have to pay attention to the clues. The clues could be words or impressions or pictures within your head, because that's how guides do it. That's how they like to do things. So you have to make notes, possibly. If you are a very skeptic human, this is an even better opportunity to test a lot of things. And when you finally test and vet, you're going to have kind of an oh shit moment. You're going to be like, gosh, dang it, I thought I had privacy. There's no such thing as privacy. You're going to find out a lot of different things, but you're going to appreciate that you're never alone. You're not alone. You don't have to do things alone. You just have to trust and believe that there's a greater force. When you set your terms and conditions properly with a fearless-based belief system, you know your power, you know your truth. Everything goes your way. You will be surprised, but you have to put action, but you also have to put focus, and you have to put energy into it. Don't believe me. I don't want you to believe me. And plus, this information isn't from me anyways. They're daring you to try things out. What's it going to hurt? That's it.
All right, guys. My final thoughts for tonight are you can own that guitar with as little as $5 per ticket. Send your $5 to my Cash App or Wise. On Wise, my email, chancemusic@yahoo.com. If you send $50, then the $50, you get 10 chances at winning the guitar. That includes setup, case, tuner, picks, and shipping all the way to your house. Okay? I ship it right here. It's a cutaway, resin art, beautiful guitar, and you heard how it sounds. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Someone asked if you ship to Canada.
No, I can't because of the shipping rates on this guitar would be over $200. But if you want me to ship it to somebody that lives close to Canada and they can take it over to you, then that will work, But I can't ship to Canada. I'm sorry. It'd be about $150 to ship this thing, and so we're trying to raise money for the station. Okay, we're trying to keep the station afloat. Okay, that's why we're doing these guitar auctions. But we appreciate you, and even if you can just send $5 for a donation for the station, just mark your donation for Hamilton Radio, and send it to me at Cash App McFadden, $ McFadden Chance, or on Wise Chance Music at yahoo.com. This is important. This is what we do to keep Doc going. Okay. Okay. You pay the shipping, and I'm sure if you want to pay the shipping, sure, I'll be glad to ship it. Okay. That's fine. Nice guitar. All right, guys. I'm Chance McFadden. You've heard it all. And if you want to hear it again, just go on and listen to the replay. We have fun doing this show. This is
Yeah.
It's very exhausting to do this show because you're trying to communicate with people in different parts of the world. But let me tell you something. I look forward to it every week. And I'm very grateful and appreciative for Brian and Wyatt and Dr. Weedman and the stem cell ladies and everybody. I love you all. So until next week, we'll see you. God bless and good night.
Bye, everybody.
Good night.